What up, Giants fans, Hub watchers, YouTube subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers? It's Noname back at it again with another Giants video. Before I get into this video, I would like to say that I hope you guys are staying safe out there, washing the hands for 20 seconds and whatnot. All in all, trying to, do your part in helping with this calamity. But with that out the way, let's get into it. So the Giants' edge rush, pass rush position is something that's been, a debate for years now, to be honest with you guys. Ever since JPP left, I guess you could say ever since the new regimes took over, the pass rush has been a topic of debate because A, we haven't had one, and B, any steps the Giants took to fix it haven't really worked out. Now, the only move the Giants made in the past couple of years that worked out was Marcus Golden. Last year, we signed him to a one-year prove-it deal around $3 million. He came on and he proved it. He got 10 sacks for us. However, the problem is, as I'm sure a lot of you know, Golden is a very scheme-dependent player, and outside of that James Bettcher, kind of like hybrid 3-4 blitzing scheme that Bettcher ran for the Giants at the time and for the Cardinals, Golden doesn't really produce in any other football scheme. So for that reason, among with probably other reasons that we don't know of, there's been reports coming out that Golden might not come back to the Giants, and it looks that way because we're, a couple weeks before the draft. Free agency is basically over, and no talks out there of the Giants bringing back Golden, no talks out there of Golden signing with anybody really, and I'm guessing other teams are seeing the same thing. So that's out the way, but with the current state of the pass rush, or I guess you could just say the outside linebacker position, which is really what I want to focus on this vid, who do we really have there? If we go through the depth chart, and I'm getting this off of ESPN because the Giants don't release their depth chart until training camp begins, which we don't even know when that's going to be anymore. But if you go on ESPN's website, on the weak side linebacker, we got Kyler Fackrell, O'Shane Ximines, Devontae Downs, who I have no idea who that is. I'm not going to try and play it off. And then on the strong side, we got Lorenzo Carter, Chris Peace, and Nate Harvey. So we only know about three dudes on that depth chart right there. And if we're going to be fair, we only know two, being Ximines and Carter. Carter is somebody that kind of underperformed his first 2 years. We kind of expected him to take a step forward next year. I still think there's hope for him. Give him one more chance. It is going to be his third year this year. And if he doesn't improve, well, you got what you got with Lorenzo Carter. Another thing that I've considered, and I've said this since about week 4 last year, because of his agility, speed, and side-to-side range, and he was in coverage one time, I think, last year, Carter could probably be better suited as a coverage linebacker, middle linebacker type of player versus a strong side, pass rush outside linebacker. That's something I've been considering for a while, something I believe the Giants may consider. When you think about that, Joe Judge and Patrick Graham, they're looking for guys with versatility. Lorenzo is definitely a player that fits that mold, and maybe they'll move him to a coverage linebacker, who knows. And then you think about O'Shane Ximines, he's only had 1 year in, a rookie, so there's not too much to judge off of. He had a nice rookie year, an okay rookie year. Certainly things he can improve on. He showed flashes. He did look better than Lorenzo at times, so maybe he takes a step forward next year and he becomes either a number 1 or a number 2 edge rusher for us. Who knows, right? And then we got Kyler Fackrell, the guy who 2 years ago had 10 sacks under the Patrick Graham, who's now her defensive coordinator. He took a step back last year, but that's because of, where he was in the depth chart of Green Bay and whatnot. We hope that he has a Marcus Golden-esque year this year. That is, he comes in on a 1 year prove-it deal and he proves it, gets us 10 sacks or something. And that's a step forward towards fixing the pass rush. And the Giants could certainly do that. They can certainly stick with the rotation they have at weak side and strong side linebacker and hope that these guys just develop. Hope that O'Shane Ximines takes a step forward. Hope that Lorenzo Carter takes a step forward. Hopes that a Kyler Fackrell does what he did 2 years ago in Green Bay. They can do that. But they can also try and address it, in the draft. Maybe even free agency. I've mentioned back when I made the video about the Giants restructuring contracts, basically freeing up an extra $10 million of space this year. They can definitely go out there and sign another pass rusher. I think Golden is out the books. At the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if they do sign him, because Marcus Golden and the Giants organization, they seem to have a really good relationship with each other. Golden has said multiple times he wants to come back. The Giants, while they haven't stated that they don't want him back, you know, at the same time, they haven't stated anything negative about the guy. And it would make sense if he comes back on what is now going to be a really cheap deal, maybe a $7-8 million short-term deal. I can see that happening, but I think it's probably out the books now because, in my opinion, they had the money to sign Golden before they restructured contracts, and they just restructured it. If they didn't sign him now, I don't see why they would sign him in the future. There's something holding him back there. Who knows? Maybe it's because they don't think, you know, he'll perform in the scheme that the Giants are going to run, even though Graham claims they're not going to be a scheme team. They're going to just line up there, go out, and be in the formation that best suits the offense that they're facing. Or maybe it's something with Golden's injury history, because he was injured, I think, in 2017, and it took him about 2 years to recover. Whatever the case is, I don't really see Golden coming to the Giants. I've mentioned Clowney before, as have a lot of people, and I said that when you have $20 million just lying there, a team doesn't usually go into the season with an extra $20 million. There's not really anybody in season you'd sign that matches that amount of money, which is why I brought up Clowney. Now, Clowney, for the same reasons, could be as unrealistic as Golden coming back. You know, he's demanding a lot of money. He's demanding around $17 to $18 million, which is less than what his initial demands were, but it still is a lot of money. But also, his injury history, Clowney can't stay on the field, and no reports coming out whether the Giants want him or not. Maybe the Giants don't even want him anymore. Who knows? But Clowney is an option. There's other guys out there like Cameron Wake and older players that the Giants could go for. And what I really think is going to happen is either they're sticking with the first option that I mentioned, which is you know, just staying with the current lineup they have, hoping that somebody breaks out, maybe trying to scheme up a pass rush, or going to take a couple people in the draft, you know. So like, I've done a top 5 edge rushers list on the channel. You guys can go check that out. I've been breaking down positions for the draft, this upcoming draft. I've been putting out top 5 lists on positions. I plan to do out the entire defensive side. I have 3 positions left, that being tackle, defensive tackle, safety, and cornerback. And I'll see if I do the offense. It depends if you guys want them or not. I will admit those videos haven't been doing as well as I'd like them to, and they do take a while to make. So if by the time I finish out the defense they don't meet like my expectations, I probably won't do the offensive side unless there's a demand for it. But go check those out. And I listed off, you know, the top 5 edge rushers, and there's edge rushers past there that the Giants could take. Now, certainly they could go in the first round, and they can trade back up into the first after their 4th overall selection to take a guy like Caleb Von Chison, like a Yetur Gross-Matos, like a AJ Epineza. In the 2nd round, if they just, you know, wait and see who falls, a couple of those guys could fall there, maybe even a Julian Okwara. I've been like saying for the longest time my favorite 2nd round selection would be a Zach Bond, who's an edge / linebacker type of guy, very versatile. Once again, matches the mold that the new regime is looking for, but also very smart, and he's very effective as an edge rusher. Zach Bond would be a nice selection in the 2nd round if he drops there. Going back to other guys that possibly be around that 36 overall selection, we got guys like Terrell Lewis out of Bama, Curtis Weaver out of Boise State, Joshua Uchi, I might be mispronouncing his name, from Michigan. There's guys like that in the 2nd round, even a Bradley Ani, who some scouting websites consider him even maybe a top 5 edge rusher at the position. I personally don't. I think he's more in that 2nd tier. And if you wait even longer and go down into the 3rd round, I don't know if the Giants want to necessarily do that, because then you fall back into the cycle of what they've been doing for the past 2 years. We took edge rushers in the 3rd round for the past 2 years in Zimenez and Carter, and they haven't really worked out, you know. Yes, it can work out where you take a guy in the mid and later rounds, they come out, they show out, bam, there's your number 1 edge rusher. But the probability of that happening is really low, as shown in the past couple of years. Like, if you go down to the 3rd round pick, which is essentially a 4th round pick, you're going to be stuck with guys like a Kenny Wilkes, Nick Coe, and Anthony Jennings, who are, you know, good players. You know, they're average good players, but they're not what you're looking for if you're trying to fix your pass rush. So draft-wise, if the Giants go this route, they really have to do it in the 1st or 2nd round. In the 1st round, whether it's a trade back up or even a trade down to get multiple picks, or in the 2nd round taking somebody like a Zach Bond, like a Julian Okwara, maybe even a Curtis Weaver. I think at 36 that might be a stretch, but I don't see him dropping to 99 either. So there's that they can do. Of course, the one thing that I think a lot of fans wish for, but we all know is not gonna happen, is if Chase Young drops to us at 4th overall, which once again I don't see it happening. It's a pipe dream. But if he's there, he's in a tier of his own, best player in the entire draft. He could fix a lot of problems for the Giants. Yes, he comes in and he only fills one hole, but pair up a Chase Young with a good number 2 in one of those 3 guys of Fackrell, Jimenez, or Carter, you got a good pass rush. It helps out the rest of your defense. You know what I'm saying? It helps out with the defensive backs getting in position, you know, getting more time to cover their receivers or tight ends and whatnot. Helps out with the linebackers a little bit to get their bearings and see what's happening. It does help out. And I guess I'm coming back to the very first thing I was saying. The whole reason I want to make this video is because while it's been a debate in the Giants community for a while, it's kind of taking a step back, which I don't mind. It's taking a step back to the middle linebacker conversation, which, like I said, I don't mind, because in my opinion, middle linebacker is a more important position than a pass rusher. But it's still something that needs to be addressed. You know, it's like I said, it's taking a step back, and I just want to bring it back into the forefront of the conversation amongst the Giants community. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think we're gonna address the pass rush at all, or are we just gonna roll in this year, see what happens, hope for the best, scheme up a rush, which really isn't that out of the equation? The Patriots have done it for years. I'm sure Joe Judge and Patrick Graham can work something out there. Not a great one, but definitely an average, a good one they could scheme up. Or you think they're gonna address it somehow in free agency with the remaining money, or going to the draft and do that? Let me know what you think. Put your comments down below. As you guys know, I guess you could say I'm an interactive creator. I love to talk with y'all, so put it down below. I'm out. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Put your comments down below. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Until next time, I'm out. Yeah.